Om Tat Sat. This is Swami Nikhilananda, and welcome to Spirituality and Vedanta Philosophy. My humble prostrations to the universal divine energy, to my worshipful Guru, Sri Swami Jyotirmananji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida, USA, to all the sages and saints of the world, and to you divine souls watching this video. In my regular videos, I explain deep and mystic insights about spirituality and Vedanta philosophy. If you like my videos, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and sharing this spiritual knowledge with others. In today's video, we are going to discuss a very important topic. It's called Japamala. How to use a Japamala and what are the proper do's and don'ts. And there are some important FAQs, frequently asked questions that many of you have asked me over time. So I thought it's important to spread this knowledge through this video. So please share it freely with others, because I know there are a lot of videos on the internet and some of them are fairly basic. So I hope this one gives you a lot of insight into what you are looking for in your spiritual practice. So let's get started. A Japamala is basically a prayer mechanism by which you keep count of your mantras. I hope by now you have watched the other video that I had done on mantra. What is a mantra and how do you chant a mantra? So if you have not done that, please watch that other video as well, because you will be tremendously benefited only when you understand the full scope of what is a mantra and then how do you use a Japamala in order to do that mantra. So let's get started on the mala aspect first. Let me show you. This is a show and tell video today. I have some things to share with you so you can all understand based on a lot of questions that have been asked over the time. So this is a cloth and it's called a Gaumukhi. Gaumukhi means, Gau means a cow, Mukhi means that looks like a cow. So what happens is that this is where your mala would go, and this is where you put your hand in, and your finger, your index finger is always out, because that is the finger of the ego. And what is the purpose of this cloth? Why do we do it? Because this is when you're traveling or when you are in a crowd, for example, you don't want to show your mala to other people. Not many people share this with you, but a mala is a very secret, a very almost a spiritual part of your being, and you don't want to share it freely with others, because that's your personal wealth. Just like you don't flaunt your wallet in front of others, you also don't show your spiritual wealth in front of others. So you take it, it's almost holy. So whenever you're traveling and you're a serious spiritual aspirant, you will need this. If you're at home, you don't need this. You can then just do the mala, but only if you're traveling or you're at an airport or doing something. This is a great way for you to just keep it like this and keep on chanting and enjoying the nectar of the mala itself. So this is a Gomukhi, and again, this has a hole here, so you can see that, and the whole purpose is for it to take out your index finger, and the mala, this whole space is for the mala, so you can rotate it very comfortably. It's actually a very simple process and a very easy one, but this is called Gomukhi. So let's move to the different types of malas. First of all, the basics of the mala before we go into the different types of malas. Each of them has 108 beads. So hopefully you can see that here. 108, and then the top bead is the 109th bead that has the tassel attached to it. So that 109th bead is called the Guru bead, Guru, Guru, or the Meru bead, Meru. So let me explain both of them, because those things are common for all the malas, and you should actually count the beads before you buy or invest in a mala, and make sure the beads are not chipped, cracked, because they do deplete some of the energy if it's done that way. So make sure you're trying to get the best mala that works for you. But the 109th bead is called the Meru or the Guru bead, and the reason that is basically it's a counting mechanism. So if you are deciding to do 10 malas or 5 malas or whatever you think will help you, or but you have to do it consistently. That's really what I try to emphasize to a lot of people, serious spiritual aspirants. So you start with this and say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and you can do it with Vaikari or mental, like we discussed, and then you keep on going, and now you are almost on the other side of it where you are coming to the end. So once you are reaching to the end, so you say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Now you have reached to this 109th bead is almost like a different step that tells you, oh, your mala is now completed. So you cannot go over it. You're supposed to hold the 109th bead here, watch this, and then you reverse it, and you always go with the mala in a clockwise direction. So this is how you will go it. Your finger, your ego finger is always pointed, separated, and the remaining 3 fingers and the thumb are the ones that are working together, and I'll briefly explain the meaning there as well. But you keep on chanting it slowly, 108 beads, and then once you reach to the end, you rotate it again. So this way you will keep count that you have done 1 mala, 2 mala, 5, 10, and then you can stop at a certain time. So that's the purpose of the 109th bead, just to basically keep a counter for you so you can keep track mentally. Otherwise it's hard to just know. Don't get too hung up with the numbers itself. Just go with your feeling and the devotion, and slowly you will start to understand it much better. But you have 5, 1 thumb and 4 fingers. So let me explain from a Sanatana Dharma standpoint and Vedanta standpoint what these mean while you are doing this mala. What is the context of these 3? So sorry, these 4 fingers and your thumb. So your thumb is considered the self, or the eventual your Atman, your consciousness that is going to help you towards your journey of liberation. So that's what the self is considered. This is the ego or avidya. So we keep it always separate from the spiritual process, and that's why you have a hole here, and we take the finger out so nobody sees it, and it's outside the realm of the spiritual arena. You keep the ego finger out. Then you have the 3 gunas of Prakriti or nature, and they are Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva is purity, Rajas is activity, and Tamas is inertia. So these 3, the goal is to bring Prakriti and Purush together, which is yourself and the 3 gunas, and you keep on blending them till the 3 gunas start to fade away and get into the self. So that is the explanation of how we and why we chant the malas. So just watch it. You use your middle finger and your thumb as the base to proceed. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and so on, and then you reverse it. So that's pretty much how you would do each of the malas. Now let me explain each mala, and we'll do some Q&A with it. I will try to respond to some of the questions I have received. So this is the Rudraksh mala. Rudra means Lord Shiva, Aksha means his eyes. So when he had some tears fall on the earth, and from that came this Rudraksh bead, which is considered highly auspicious, very pure, and it's not easily available everywhere. But there are different kind of Rudraksh beads. But if you're praying to Lord Shiva, Lord Hanuman, and such, then you will use the Rudraksh mala for that reason. If you're praying to Lord Vishnu, this is a Tulsi mala, and he likes Tulsi a lot, Lord Vishnu, and this is the Tulsi plant you can see here also. And the process of chanting is exactly the same in all the malas. It doesn't matter. There are 108 beads, and the 109th is the Meru or the Guru. And so you would do that for that reason. That's the second kind. And then this is called a Sphatik mala. It's a beautiful stone that comes is made in the mountains, and the goddess likes it very much. Mainly goddess Saraswati, if you see her picture, she is holding this mala in one hand and her veena or a musical instrument in the other, and then the Vedas. So this mala is called the Sphatik mala. So if you're praying to the goddess, you use the Sphatik mala generally for Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and the like. And then when you are praying to Lord Vishnu, then you will use the Tulsi mala. And then when you are praying to Lord Shiva or Hanuman or anybody, then you use the Rudraksh mala, and that will help you. Now you can pray, you can, as you advance, these things matter, but initially, in the initial stages, the most important feeling is your actual feeling, your devotion. And if you are attracted to a certain deity, of course, based on that, you can decide which mala is best for you. But sometimes people ask, should we do many mantras, or I'm chanting 3 mantras, can I use the same mala? My answer there is generally it's better to have one mantra that is given by an authentic guru, or one mantra that you feel connected to, because eventually it's all the same universal energy taking you to the same point. So you'd be much more effective. But if you are doing different mantras, then it's good to do Shiva mantra on the Rudraksh mala, and Vishnu mantra on the Tulsi mala. But again, I personally recommend doing one mantra, doing it with feeling. It's the quality, not the quantity, that counts, and doing it with great attention and focus. So that's what is very important. Why do we reverse the mala, and why don't we go over the Meru bead, is another question. And the answer there is that Meru is the center of the universe, the center of the big Meru mountain, and so we basically revere that. We don't cross over it. The same thing happens with the Guru. Gu means darkness, Ru means remover, somebody who brings you from the darkness to the light. So that's the Guru. And therefore we are always taught to respect the mala. That's why we take this mala in a very holy way. And then the other thing I have to make sure I get across with all of you is that this mala is a prayer item. So treat it just like you treat your other prayers and your spiritual deities, with a lot of attention and love. So make sure this mala does not go below your navel. So please pay attention. Make sure it does not go below your navel area, because that's considered more impure due to the reproductive organs there. So keep it higher than your navel. And when you're buying the mala, make sure it's not way below. And the second thing is, make sure your mala doesn't touch the ground. So when you are, because that releases the energy, and it's also not a very spiritual thing to do, because it demands a lot of respect. So keep your mala very holy. Make sure it doesn't touch the ground when you're chanting the mantra, and also it doesn't go below your navel. Those things are very important. And then as you start doing the japa, you will realize that it's benefiting you. It's perfectly normal to wear it in your neck, around your neck. And if you're doing your mantra in the morning and going to work, it also acts as an armor. It basically protects you and guides you from the other spiritual forces, negative forces that may impact. So enjoy this nectar. This is a very deep science, and sages and saints of the world, and mainly in the yogis in India, benefit tremendously, and they're sharing this knowledge now with all of us. So let us benefit from this mystic insight that they have. So I hope this video helped. I hope I've answered a lot of questions that people have asked over time. But you never rotate the mala in an anti-clockwise direction. It should always be clockwise. So go like this and then go to the end, and when you get to the end again, like I said, just reverse it and do it with feeling. So I think we have answered a lot of questions about what is the japa in the other video. Why should we do it? What is the mala? Why do we do it? What are the common questions, and how should we chant the mantras? So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or contact me. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Divine blessings, and Om Tat Sat.